Hello, I'm Michelle Roux here from the Strand in South Africa, and welcome to my knitting podcast. If you like what you see here, please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this. I've got a story or two, some finishing items, and a very big cup of coffee. But I think it's too hot still. Do you have something to drink? Do you want to go and get something quickly? Pause me, it's fine. I'll be here. Okay, so today I've got 2 finished items and a few work in progress items, and I also have a story or 2. So let's start with the finished items. Then I can take them off the table. This is my socks. These are my socks. It's my socks. You know, I do have a sock blocker, but I just never use it. I've got no idea why. But anyway, so I'll show you one sock because it's difficult to keep 2 socks like this. I usually do a toe up. This is just a vanilla. I just allowed the colors from the self-striping yarn to play along. I love the little patterns that it's doing in between. And then I did increases and a heel flap and gusset. And about 15 rows of ribbing at the top. I still have yarn left, so there's my other one. Just as proof, there's proof. I did both. So this is yarn from Katja. No, let's do it like that. It's Katja, and I just left the green and the pink together, and you can see it's the theme of the day. It seems, hey, with the flowers and everything. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So that's my first finished object. My second one you saw in the podcast on the previous video. Behind me was hanging a piece of blanket. That blanket was made from super chunky acrylic yarn. It was okay to knit with it. My needles were not long, so I only did 1 panel, even where the pattern said I must add on all the panels together and knit them in triage. Is that what they call it? Where they turn the yarn in when the combine change color, that you don't get gaps. Yeah, I couldn't do that. The yarn was too thick and my needles were not long enough. So I did 3 panels of 4 blocks each, and then I sewed them together. Now the sewing, I think I need to go and attend some lessons in that, because the sewing itself went okay, but the working away the ends, because of the thickness of the yarn, it didn't come out as nice as I would have wanted it, but it's okay. It was very thick, it's very heavy, and it will keep the business nice and warm using that. That was my second. So I will also add in photos, just have a look out. I don't know whether I've added in already, or whether I will add it in at the end. You will see I did take a photo from it with a pen, just to give you a ratio between the thickness of the yarn and a normal standard pen. Yes, it's a normal standard pen. It wasn't the mini, just to give you an idea of how thick that yarn was. The knitting on it was quite okay. It was, I knew about my my lower arm muscles, especially my right hand one, but it wasn't that bad. I didn't sit and do a block a day. I did like a half a block a day, and I think that helped a lot. Okay. Now I mustn't spill my coffee, okay? Or the flowers. Okay, so the second item that I want to talk about is this cardigan that I showed you last time. Last time I called it the something blue. I'll see whether I can keep it up like that. So I'm busy with the first sleeve. I must still, whoops, where's the second sleeve? There's the second sleeve that I must still do. So the sleeves I've got on these pins. Let me just take it away that you can see the pin. Yeah, it does make it difficult if you want to fit it, because it's like hard and you can't get your arm through there, but it does keep the needles, the stitches, very safe. See, it can't get off at all, which is very nice. Even if they go through there, it still can't get off on the other side, so it's still okay. This yarn got a story. Can I tell you a story? So today is the 27th of April. It is Freedom Day. It's a public holiday, so we've got a nice long weekend, because Monday is Workers' Day, so we're only going back to work on Tuesday. I took leave on Friday, tomorrow, so I've got a nice long weekend. But today, Freedom Day. This was the day when Nelson Mandela were elected as our country's president. He was the first black president in our country. And I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm going to draw out what was nice for me, and for the people, and why I want to mention it. Okay, so I'm not a politician. I hardly follow what's going on all over the world, although I think I do know enough. And there are reasons why I don't watch news. Okay. So this yarn. So today, on Nelson Mandela's 67th birthday, he challenged the nation to spend 67 minutes in charity, or on doing something for charity. So the bigger companies, like the one that I worked for, did arranged activities for their staff, which they could have volunteered to go into. I think it's nice. So the one here, we made plastic sleeping bags, or there was plastic covered sleeping bags for the homeless people. It's just before the winter, so I think that was something nice to do. The other thing that we did another year was they arranged with a building company, and we went into a suburb and we went to go and help build houses. So that was quite a physical story. Yeah, it's a few years back. Hey? But it gives you a nice sense of belonging to give. It's also nice to give, to know that your time are valuable, to give to people in need, and not necessarily just money. Yeah, so I want to tell you about the yarn. So this yarn is called, I call it Mandela yarn, Mandela Day yarn. It's, other people refer to it as 67 blanket yarn, and it's huge. It is a 300 gram double knit, and the solid colors went for, still going, I think, for under 100 rand, or ZAR if you're watching from another country, a ball. So this ball is, I had leftovers knitting my daughter, who's an adult, maybe a size 8, like the first size in adult range, and I still had leftovers from one ball knitting her a cardigan. Okay, just to give you the idea of how much you get here. So no, this is not a promotion, this is just linked to the day, and I want to encourage, cherish that we do things for other people, and this is something that Mandela did, and even though he's no longer alive, it still carries on, which is nice. I want to give you quickly. So the 300 grams got 750 meters, just to give you that idea. Okay, cool. I'm going to put it away. And I want to show you something else that I'm doing, and I don't have that Knotty, but Knotty Habits give us these little booklets, and I use the paper. So in each project bag has a paper, and on the paper I will write down the name of the pattern that I'm doing, the size that I'm knitting, because a size 2 is not the same measurement across all the patterns. So because I do various patterns, I often get confused which one did I choose now to do. And I will also, to confirm the size in my head, I also wrote down the number of stitches that I've cast on. So most of the time it's on the collar, but sometimes it's at the bottom as well. And for this cardigan, I've also did, when I started the sleeve, I said sleeve, and I said I still need to knit so many rows in blue, then I've got so many rows in grey, so many rows in brown, and I've also done the marking of my decreases for my sleeve. So yeah, the sleeves are quite bulky, but it's because it's so thick. The yarn is so thick, it gives quite a dense fabric, and as you can see, it's not, oops, doesn't have much drape, so it's more a jacket. So I wanted to enable the person to wear something underneath as well and be comfortable with it. So that's that one. Now the next one, and that was the story. So stories are over now. Where is it? Maybe it's not over. So what this 67, do I say it right way around now, 67 minutes of charity also initiated in our company, and I'm sure that in other companies as well, is to start to do Christmas boxes. So we would get or buy a big shoebox. It had measures that it had to be, and everything had to fit in there. So you couldn't buy big things, but you, okay. So then you would pick a child's name, and you will get their size, boy or girl, whether they're in the school, and the list of what to buy to put in the box. And it started with toothpaste and toothbrush. And you would think, how do you give that to a child as a Christmas present? But to those who don't have, it is valuable. And it's valuable for them to learn to use that, and to, yeah, so, and to have their own. I think that's a bigger thing, because, yeah. So, and this made me wonder, so our knitting group is, we're close to 20 people, or we are 20 people already, our in-person knitting group, and it grew very nicely, and I'm very pleased that I've started this initiative. And maybe we should do a Christmas box this year and find an orphanage to sponsor, and just do one box each. I think that will be something nice to do. Just a thought. Maybe that's something that you can do in your area too. Maybe in December we can just say how many boxes was given. It's not a fame story, it's not a look what I've done story. It is just to say, we as knitters have started something. Yes, we do knit for charity, and we knit lots of hats and scarf and booties and sleeping socks for the elderly and things like that. But let's do something different. Okay, let me know what you think about that, and whether you want to accept the challenge. Okay, then another story is, another date to remember is the 10th of July. The 10th of July is the big international sit and knit in public day. So here where I stay, we're busy arranging a venue. It's a bit difficult because most venues require you to pay a deposit. So we're going to try and negotiate with some shopping malls or shopping centers and see whether we can't sit in the walking areas or passages, because the people will go to their shops and go and buy food, something to eat and drink and shop around later on after the event. So I think it can be a plus both ways, but let's see what happens. In my Instagram account, I will post on the venue as soon as we have one. So look out. Yes, I am Happy Ever Yarn on Instagram as well, so it's easy to find me. Okay, so that was the other date to look out for. Now back to knitting. So we are still running the Colorwork make along or knit along. It started in 1st of March and it's carrying on until the end of October. I will draw prizes in the first week in November, if willing. So my Colorwork I'm doing with, where is it now? With Cup of Yarn. It's this one, the colourful one. We've got it, fits nicely in here. Do you see that? And then my main color is a charcoal, and that's from Knotty Habits. And this yarn is the light fingering, the 50% merino, 15% mulberry silk, 15% kid mohair, and 20% polyamide. So it also can be used for socks. It's very soft. It's really very nice to knit with, and there's 400 meters in 100 grams. So how does my garment look like? Okay, what side will I show you? I think this side, because the other side is curling up now today. Don't know why. So this is my Fynbos pullover. It's got nice flowers on it. So last time that I showed you, I was here where I put a little ruler with a bell, and this is the top. So I was only like starting the color work, and I've gone there. I'm nearly finished. I've got like 5 or 10 rows left. Oh dear, really can't. I think it's 7. Let's make a difference. Let's split the difference. Left to do. So yeah, I also have my row counter that I bought from Big Fox Yarn, but it's made by Itsy Klein, and it's lovely to use. It really gives me confidence to put the garment in the bag, and I knew I will know exactly where I was, because it on these little thingies, sorry you won't be able to see, it's got numbers on it, and when you've done your first 10, you can add a stitch marker in the bottom loop. So I've got 2 already, so I'm busy with my row 20s already. Yeah, so the Fynbos pullover, the pattern actually wants you to put the floats on the outside like this. It looks lovely, it does. But I was knitting it very slowly, and the material is also very thick, because you take 2 strands of color and 1 strand of domain. So it's like a triple layers of material that you're creating, and for me it's too hot. And when I saw that it's too huge, this is the neckline, not the waist. It's not the dress. I saw, no, it's even going to stretch out more, and it's too big. So then I thought, okay, let me redo it. See, this looks better. Do you want to compare? quite a bit extra. And I decided to do normal stranded color work, just to be able to move quicker and get it finished, because if I take too long with something, I get bored with it, and then it goes in the cupboard, and if it's so small, it will get ripped out, and I really want to have it finished. I really want to wear it this winter. So having long weekend, will be my focus. Did you all hear me? You're not getting attention this weekend. This one is. So this is the Fynbos. I will put the designer names in the description. Okay. What's next? The next one is a garment from, this is the, I can't pronounce this, Carlisle saddle shoulder. I'm knitting a size 6. And I even made notes to say on which page I was, because it tells you for this size do this, and that for that size do this, so you're skipping portions. Okay, and this is how far I am with that one. Let me just get the middle of the shoulder so that I can show you. I think it's very nice. I just love it. Don't you think it looks nice on me? It's got a high neck, so the neck will come about there. So it's really for winter. Last time I showed you, I was here. This is the top. Where's that one? There. So I did a lot of knitting on it. And you know the saddle shoulder, you increase on the outside, and then when you come to the end of your shoulder, you change it and you start to increase on the sleeve side. And I had it on, I fitted it yesterday, and it actually stops right at the bone of my shoulder, so it's going to be so neat and so nice. And this is knitted from EsTeresa Yarn Creations. Is their Venus colorway. I hope you can see, I hope it focused nicely. So this is a 2-ply 100% superwash merino. It's got 350 grams for 100 meters. 350 meters for 100 grams, sorry. And it's so nice. So where am I now? Where's my small little ball? So this is how much I've got left from the first skein, and my second skein is winded up. And this one's got a little bit of more reds in it. So I need to remember to alternate my yarn, and I think I need to start that when this new row starts, because otherwise it's going to look, you will see the difference. With the blue one that I knitted a v-neck from the same yarn, but it's got blue and the rusts in it, I did not alternate the yarn, and I'm very sorry for not doing that, because right in the middle of my waist area it changed the display of the blues. So all over was nicely to that point, and then it's gone weird. So I'm thinking of putting that one out. Maybe in the next episode I'll speak to that, and I'll show you that. But first, before I pull out garments that are done, just to reuse the yarn, it's winter here, guys. It's autumn. I should be knitting winter garments. But you know what patterns comes up in my mind? Summer stuff. I want to do summer stuff. Why? Anyway, so I've started this. You can just put that in there. You can just get the paper. Here's the paper. There's the yarn paper, okay. It's good that you only see this piece. This piece is a mess. So this is Be Beautiful that I'm knitting, and you knit it. It is a drop shoulder, but you knit it top down. So you knit the back down to the where you would have separated for the sleeves. Then you knit the front halves, and it's got a V-neck, front halves, and then you start to knit in the right. So, and I only have 2 balls of this. So I've got the second one in here, I don't. So this is, and I pulled the piece out. So this is like a mint green with pastel peach, but there's blue in there too, there's browns in there. I wonder whether you can see all the colors. This is from EsTeresa Creations, and this is her Cara Michelle, not it more too. This is her Cara base. This is a 4-ply sock weight with 400 meters, 400 grams, 100% superwash merino. And I was so happy when I saw the colors. I just smiled at them when I saw them on the website. But I only have 2. So will I have enough? I don't think so. No, me. Anyway, I don't like to play the yarn chicken. I really don't. But let me show you how nice this garment is going to be. So remember, this is the back now, and it starts like the shoulders, and it's got a drop shoulder. This is the back. But look how beautiful that is. Can you see that? I don't have anything that is plain to put behind that you can see. So I'll try and put my hand there. It's got 3 lace patterns. And it looks like bees. And it's right in the center on your spine in the back. So it will help you to cool down, and it really makes it very nice. I just like this. I think that was my last one. There's nothing hiding here. I've got a pattern in my head for another summer top that might be casted on next time. I'm not going to do it this weekend. I promised I will do this weekend, so that I can finish the color work and just start the plain knitting before I start anything else. And then I need to finish this jacket thingy because I'm so close to the end. What do you think? What are you busy with? Did you cast on some nice things? Hi, just quickly, it's Future Michelle here. Just before I do editing, that last bit of that video was like, it's boring. So here is my end of. I wish you well for the week, and have a long weekend with me. Rest well, recuperate, and happy knitting. Bye.